KMMU, that is Main Street Media in Utah. This is the Liberty Mom Show. Liberty Moms are the original secretaries of defense. We are the real defenders of the home front. And we are there when it comes to defending our families and our communities. I'm your host today, Delane England. I'm super excited to have two other Liberty Moms on with me. Kalia's, I don't think you're an actual mom yet, right?
No.
But you're a Liberty woman and mom to be
Yes.
at some point,
Yes.
I'm praying. And we're really excited to have Kalia Smaldoni on with us. Kalia, I don't know that much. She's amazing. She's an adorable young woman, really incredible. She is an orthopedics tech, and I guess graduated from BYU, or are you still going to BYU?
No, I'm graduated.
You look too young to graduate, so that's awesome. So graduated from BYU, and the way that I know Kalia and the reason I'm having her on is because she is on the Why I Love America committee, and she is all about America. So Kalia, tell us what is it that got you involved and why you love America?
Okay, so I got involved. I was with my friend Lewis Johnson at his family's house in Burley, Idaho, and I met Brooke, his mom. She's on the committee with us for Why I Love America. And she was just telling me what she was involved with, and I was like, I love America. I'm like, that's so cool. And she invited me to the influencer dinner last year, and I just loved it, and I felt
Right.
really inspired to join. It just seemed like a great cause because Jen Brown, who started the organization, and Tad Collister, who's our chairman, they just seemed really inspired by it. And I could just tell that they felt like God's hand really is in America, past, present, and future, and that they want to make that known to everyone. And I was like, this is amazing, and I'd love to be a part of it. And so they asked me and Ethan Ball, who's one of my co-chairs, to start a young adult chapter of Why I Love America, which is called Heirs of Liberty. So that's why I'm a part of it.
That is so awesome. That is so exciting. And you guys are just killing it. You're just it's really awesome. And it really makes me so happy and just lifts my spirit so much because I just love seeing young people getting involved and doing something and caring about more than just having fun and about, our careers, which are really important. Like we go to school, we need to have jobs. That's what makes us self-sufficient. That's all really good. But there's more than just being financially prosperous. The founders felt very strongly about it. And so I'm just going to quickly put in a little plug for Tad Callister's book. It is so good. I am just telling you, it is such a good book. I absolutely love it. It is so good. So I highly recommend to everyone to read this. And another thing about it is Tad has donated all of the proceeds from this book to Why I Love America campaign. So,
I didn't know that. That's so cool.
Everything that we make off of this book, everything he makes from selling it, I say we make because we're all kind of selling it or making it available. It all goes to Why I Love America. And so that was very generous of him. And I'm just telling you, if you haven't read it yet, it is so good. Tad is such a good writer. He's a brilliant man, which you can tell quickly, but he is really a great writer as well. And so this book, America's Destiny by Tad Callister, I highly recommend it. If everyone would read this book, I'm telling you, America, our problems would be solved. It's just so compelling. And he uses, of course, nothing but original sources. He quotes the founders. He uses court cases because he is an attorney. And so he knows all these court cases, so he brings them in. So you get such good information from so many angles. So I love that. And it's been so much fun to work with you on the Why I Love America committee. And I just briefly want to talk about the kickoff because September is American Founders and Constitution Month. That has been passed by our Utah State Legislature last year. So we just had our kickoff for this year on August 29th. And it was fantastic, don't you think?
Oh my gosh, it was incredible. It was so cool because I was like talking to someone about it. I'm like, it's cool because there were people of all different ages,
Mhm.
different races, different political parties, and
Yes.
we all came together in unity to celebrate our nation.
Yes, it's so true. I love that. It was, and there were some really wonderful displays, things for young people to enjoy, but also not necessarily young because they were really attractive, eye candy, interesting, great information there. And then we had founding fathers and founding mothers there, so people got to actually visit with some of the founding fathers and mothers. And then we had this beautiful choir from American Heritage that really, the rotunda is really great for music, not so great for speeches. It was really
No.
hard to hear. The acoustics there is not so great for talking, but it is angelic for music. Don't you think? I just
Oh,
loved
it's
the songs.
incredible.
Oh, it was just so beautiful. And the choir just sang these beautiful songs, very inspiring. And then when the flag drops down,
Oh
the
my
two
gosh, that
flags,
was just
oh, I love that.
beautiful.
It is beautiful. So anyway, it was a great kickoff for the month of September, and now we're in it. We're 5 days in September, and it's going fast. So I would like to have talked to you and have you tell our audience about some of the different events that are coming up. So we
Yeah.
have. Let's talk about our interfaith fireside. Do you
Yeah.
know who's going to be speaking? Because I'm just like, I didn't even give you any heads up, so I apologize.
No, I mean, this is great because we had our committee meeting on Tuesday. So
Yes,
I
you're in the
I'm
know.
really glad that we talked about it now. um, but yeah, that's I know Rosemary Wixom, she
Yes.
is speaking. She was the former primary president for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
And isn't she
And
adorable? She
oh my
is such
gosh,
a sweet
she's
lady. I
so
am so,
adorable.
I'm excited to hear from her because she just
Oh my
has this
gosh.
cute way of being and this great energy. And what I did not know before is she's a twin, and her twin sister
Yes,
is just as adorable as she
just
is.
as adorable. Oh
They
my
are
gosh.
just both so darling. I just like the
Mhm.
first time you just have to fall in love with them. You're just like, they are so darling.
Oh,
Just
they're
great
so
vibe,
cute.
energy. Yeah,
And also just so intelligent. That's
very intelligent.
Rosemary is writing an article for the Deseret News right now, and her and I were texting back and forth, and I'm like, wow, like this woman is a powerhouse. She is incredible to be writing this article, and it's not an easy topic. But yeah, she's amazing. So it'll be really cool to hear from her.
She is. She'll be really fun. And then we have some other really awesome speakers as well.
Yes, I'm trying to remember. I know, let's see, Hayden Paul is speaking.
Hayden Paul,
She,
and Hayden Paul is on the committee. And again, what I love is Hayden Paul is young. He is a
mhm.
veteran. He's in the military right
Yes,
now.
he is in the Marines.
He's being deployed. Yeah, he's in the Marines, which is really something. And he,
Yes.
again, he loves America so much. He's laying his life on the line for America and for us. And he's young and he's, again, very intelligent. He's a great speaker, super good energy, really fun, has this cute young family. He is adorable. And the other one is Pastor Chuck Bickle.
Yeah.
And do you know Chuck Bickle?
I don't, but if you know about him, I would love to hear about it.
You are going to love Pastor Chuck. He is such a great pastor. He is such a great speaker. I just love to go to his church and hear him speak because he speaks the truth. He
I
doesn't
love that.
sugarcoat it. He just speaks the truth. He tells it like it is. And he's very engaging, high energy, very principled. Again, he loves America. He loves the principles of the Constitution. And, I love is that he knows them. Like it is fun to have a conversation with him because he knows the Constitution, he knows the principles, and I just love that because and then he can teach it, and he teaches it from the pulpit to his congregation, and his congregation is on fire with love for America. They are just awesome,
That is
and one of
so cool.
his youth pastor is Pastor Rod Hall, who has just run and just won to be he won the primary, so he's going to be in the general election to run for the state school board. I feel like
Oh,
he is,
no way.
yeah. And so he's going to be on the state school board. I'm absolutely confident. And he's
Mhm.
really, what a great man. And I'm just so excited to have such a man of honor and integrity to be on our state school board. Because again, he's very intelligent, He is a father. He's a pastor. He's a youth pastor. He is around youth 24/7. He's an educator, and he's a great speaker. But we've got Bickle, Pastor Chuck Bickle, that is going to be speaking. So 3 really great speakers. So it's going to be really a fun, very energetic evening. And so I just encourage everybody to go. So do you know where it is located?
Yeah, it's at the American Heritage School in American Fork, and we had it there last year, and
Yes.
it's beautiful, and it's so cool. It's such a cool school to be at.
It is. It's a great school, and there's lots of room. So everyone is invited because there's lots of room there. It's a great venue and it's beautiful. And so everyone can come and bring your family. So I want to encourage people. This is an event that is great for children because it will be interesting because obviously Mrs. Wixom, she has used to teaching to children and speaks, but she doesn't talk down to adults either. Like really engaging. And Pastor Bickle, everyone in his congregation, obviously families, and the kids are just very attentive and love hearing him. He's very engaging. Of course, Hayden Paul, he's a young dad. He has young kids. Great,
Yeah.
great with kids. So it's something that all ages can really come and enjoy.
Yeah, I loved it last year because, well, I feel like all these events that Why I Love America does, they're engaging for one, but also I learned so much last year. I loved, was it Rod Stewart that spoke last year, I think?
It was Chris Stewart.
Chris Stewart, yes.
Stewart.
I don't know. Yeah, Chris Stewart. Yeah. His wife, oh my gosh, she was amazing.
Yeah. She gave it
Yes.
really good luck.
Oh my gosh.
She was awesome.
So
and then this is really embarrassing because I wasn't planning, but a really neat lady, she spoke as well. And I know her name.
Yes, Bonnie Corden.
Bonnie Corden. Thank you very much. Good. Yeah, so it was a great event. And I really actually, as much as it was really great, I honestly think that this year's going to be even better. I really do. I think our speakers are just dynamite. Just fantastic.
It's been really cool to see this organization from the beginning. Like, we're learning a lot and we're definitely just like, we're blossoming. And
we're blossoming, yeah.
Yes. But it's cool to learn from every event, like what we can add to it, what we want to talk about, what we think is important. So it's just been so cool to see us progress.
Yes. And it is blossoming. And there's so many amazingly talented people on the committee. And it's so fun to have all of these lovers of America, lovers of liberty come together, share their talents, and get engaged. And there's just such great energy. It's great. So I love what you said. We are blossoming. So yes. And I'm really excited about this one. So does it start at 7 p.m.?
Yes, I believe so.
7 p.m. American Heritage School in American Fork. And just so you know, it is the East Building because American Heritage is a large campus and it has several buildings. So it's the East Building. There's a large parking lot there. So you can park at the temple. You can park there. So there's plenty of parking and there's
lots of parking.
Yeah. And lots of seating. So bring your family, bring your friends, come and have a fun night out. And that's September 22nd.
Yes.
Sunday night, the 22nd.
Yes.
So we look forward to seeing everyone there. Okay. And then
I want to put a little, go ahead.
You go.
I just was going to say, I just want to put a little plug in for the young adult devotional that we're having on September 15th.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm so excited about it. We're hosting it in Utah County. We're still trying to get a venue, but that's September 15th at 7:00. And it's so cool. So my friend Gabriella Puckett, she's speaking, and then another guy that someone on our committee knows, his name is Alvin Goy, and he's speaking as well. Both of them are from communist countries. Gabby is from Cuba, and then Alvin's from China. And Gabby has spoken to Heirs of Liberty before, and she is just phenomenal. Like, really just changed my life, like hearing what she went through. And what I loved is she always says, like, freedom isn't free. That
It's not.
it's not free, but it's such an incredible blessing that we have it and that we can work hard. And she talks about how she loves being able to work hard and loves being able to work and to provide, and that she loves having freedom of speech. She's like, I wasn't able to have this in my own country, and to have it now is incredible. So, anyways, the two of them are talking about God's hand in America and how we can promote patriotism and how we can embrace the Constitution. So, I think
Fantastic.
that will be an incredible event.
Nobody knows like people who have lived in countries where they did not have it, because we kind of take for granted America, and we don't really understand without going to other countries what a gift it is and how unique it is. So unique. This is not like the rest of the world. And
No.
so who gets to go to that? Who's invited to that?
I mean, everyone is invited to it. Gabby and Alvin are both young adults. I think Gabby's 27 and then Alvin's in his early 20s. So they're going to be speaking to the youth and to young adults. But I mean, we encourage everyone to come because we want everyone to embrace God's hand in America, to embrace the Constitution and patriotism. And so everyone is totally welcome to come.
That is so nice. That's nice of you, because I'm like, I want to go. That just sounds
Oh
so
my gosh, please come. Please
Well,
come. It will be
I don't wanna,
incredible.
encroach on a young person's, young people's event, but it sounds fabulous. So I definitely will be
Yes.
sharing that. And
Yes.
the location is yet to be announced.
Yes, that's we're finding a location in Utah County.
Right.
But it'll be posted on our Instagram, and then it'll be posted on Why I Love America's Instagram as well.
Okay.
So
Wonderful.
that's
Great.
we'll keep announcing it and keep everyone informed. But I think there's so many incredible things that are happening this month, and it's cool to share our love for America with everyone.
I love it. And I love your name, Heirs of Liberty. I love that. That is,
Yeah.
I think that's a really inspired name. That's really beautiful. That's
Yeah,
awesome.
it was really cool because that's the first time that so Ethan Ball and Wes Kennington, they're two of my co-chairs, and it was really cool to meet with them for the first time. We'd never met each other, and we're all we just came together and we're like, okay, so what are we gonna call ourselves? And we were Googling different things, and my dad, he loved having me watch patriotic shows, so I watched Johnny Tremaine growing up. I don't know if you know what that is, but
Oh, yes, I do. Yes.
I remember they're singing the songs about the Sons of Liberty,
Mhm.
and I turned to them, I'm like, what if we did something about like the Sons of Liberty, but we are inheriting that? And that's how we came up with the name Heirs of Liberty, because we're inheriting this responsibility to keep freedom alive in this great nation. So we are the heirs of liberty. And that's how we came up with it.
Love it. Yeah, and just put in a plug in, because there were Daughters of Liberty at the same time as there were the Sons of Liberty.
Yes.
So I love Heirs of Liberty covers all of us.
All of us.
I'm an heir of liberty too. I was handed
We are all heirs of liberty.
Silver platter, handed it, just a gift from God. And I feel like we are so blessed. But with that blessing comes responsibility. And we have a responsibility to uphold it, to stand for it, and we need to get educated about it, because we can't stand for something we don't know about. So, and just an interesting little tidbit of information that makes me cry, makes me weep, but it's still true. At 15 years ago, an Ivy League university did a survey with the present, 15 years ago, what was the present Congress. And in their survey, they just asked one question. They simply asked, have you ever read the Constitution? And so would you want to guess as to what percentage of the Congress at the time had never read the Constitution?
Oh, I bet it was over 50%.
It was 80%. So 80% of Congress took an oath to uphold the Constitution that they really had never read, which means they didn't study it, which means how much could they possibly know about it? And 80% admitted that they took that oath and had never read it, really weren't very familiar with it. That, and I feel like that's the responsibility they have, and that we all have. And that's why I love America is so important, because we're helping people learn about it. And it's so incredible. The Constitution is so
So
genius.
incredible.
The more
Oh
that
my
I,
gosh.
the more I just love it. And it's just genius. It's
Mhm.
incredible. Okay.
It was, yeah, just incredible.
It is. Okay. So
Mhm.
we have one more activity event that is coming up that I know
Mhm.
about. And so do you want to tell us about that event?
With
About,
the Constitution reading?
yes?
Or yes, yeah. So that's on September 27th. Um, that's going to be at the Capitol, but it's going to be broadcasted.
Right.
And so you can watch that. And we encourage everyone to watch it. But what we have is a bunch of people coming in, and it's broken up into 50 parts, I believe.
That's correct.
And everyone is just going to be reading different sections of the Constitution, which is incredible. And also, a lot of people that are, I guess, we're trying to get familiar faces out there, and also people who are just important to our country and who are trying to raise awareness are coming to read it. So it'll be cool to see, some familiar faces on that broadcast.
Yes, absolutely. And it only takes 45 minutes to read the entire Constitution. And so,
Mhm.
and it is fun. I love the idea of breaking it up and having different people read sections because it keeps it interesting. And,
Mhm.
you get just different vibes from different people. So I think that is a really fun way to do it. But yeah, so everyone's welcome to just, go on and listen to it, live stream. And it gives you little things that go, what does that mean? Oh, I've never really noticed that before, because I
Mhm.
think that can really help people really gain a greater interest. And then we can go and spend more time studying it and learning more about it, because it
Totally.
really is so incredible. Because I know attorneys. I've had more than one conversation with an attorney who think the 3/5 clause is just terrible. They think it's just totally racist. And
Mhm.
so what we need to do is read that and then go to the Federalist Papers or listen
Mhm.
to a podcast and learn about the 3/5 clause, because the 3/5 clause was such an amazing way to solve such a serious problem.
Mhm.
And we wanted most of the founders wanted to end slavery, but not everyone did.
Yeah.
It's interesting that we were so quick to judge how people were willing to continue slavery, which we know is immoral, we know is
Mhm.
a violation of God, didn't protect their freedoms. And it's easy for us to judge from where we are. But look at how I just want to, give everyone a chance for self-reflection. What are we willing to do to end slavery? We have slavery now. Slavery is bigger than it ever was. And how many of us are not willing to use our resources, our time, our money to end slavery that we have now, because we don't want it to impact our lifestyle or our livelihood? Because there's not only sex trafficking that's going on all around the world, and especially in America, but we also have manual labor slavery, children that are being kidnapped. And there are other ways to be in slavery. And if we don't know and understand our Constitution and stand up for it, we are putting ourselves into bondage.
Mhm.
We are allowing businesses and the government to take our freedoms away and put us in a form of bondage, which, I mean, it's not unprecedented. We did it during the World War II. They took American Japanese people, law abiding, tax paying citizens and business owners, literally put them in internment camps, took their freedoms away. It's not inconceivable that that can happen again. It's
Mhm.
not. People need to it sounds like, oh, that could never happen. We didn't think it could
But we
happen
just
then
never
either.
know.
We don't. And we have to be prepared. We have to know what our rights are so we can stand up and know what is okay and what is not okay, and where we can stand. So that's
Yeah,
just one reason I think knowing and understanding the Constitution and our rights is really important. And along with knowing our rights, we need to know our responsibilities, because
totally.
self-government comes with governing yourself. You have a right to, but you also have a responsibility.
Mhm.
So,
It's cool because I'm actually giving a presentation tonight on the Constitution, to just a bunch of
oh,
my peers. Yeah, that's
Great.
and I mean, I think they're doing an Instagram live of it. So if you have Instagram, you're welcome to tune in.
Sweet.
It's through Treehouse Talks. Anyways, but
Okay.
it's been cool because I actually didn't read the Constitution until last week.
Sure.
And
Yeah.
it's, I feel like I'm in a generation where you right now I'm kind of in a selfish point of life where I'm trying to figure out my career. I'm trying to figure
Mhm.
out, you know,
Yeah.
dating and friends
Right.
and
The future.
socializing and
Yeah.
yes. And what I realized, I'm like, I have to know these things because these amendments, these rights, these articles will affect my future. And I need to know how to stand up for it. And I was going through, and what I really want to ask everyone is like, what nation do they want to live in? And to actually like think about what they want to be a part of because I know our constitution is under attack. I mean, I don't know. We were talking about the New York
It
Times
is.
article with my family last night, and it's really it's scary what we live in, but we can definitely, I don't know, protect it. And we have so many freedoms because of it. What I think is so cool is that, like, you and I, Delane, are on this show right now, and that we have the freedom of speech to just talk to each other. And
Mhm.
that even like the Constitution, yes, it's set in stone, but also it can evolve. And that's what the amendments are for. It's like
Mhm.
you and me at first, when the Constitution was written, we didn't have the right to vote, or we wouldn't have, but now we do. And that's what I think is so beautiful about it, is that it makes such a huge difference, and it can make a huge difference in our lives and in our future.
And it does. Absolutely. And I love what you're saying. If we don't do something, we will lose it. It is very important. It is under religious liberties under attack. We can totally see that on college campuses and in the social media realm. Religion is absolutely under attack. And our freedom of speech is under attack when a lot of companies and government are saying you can't say that. And it's like, we don't need the protect freedom of speech to say things people want to hear or people
Mhm.
agree with. We only need it for us to say things that people don't want to hear and don't
Yeah.
like. I can be offended or I can choose not to be offended. If
Mhm.
people say things that I don't like, I can choose to say, well, I consider the source. I disagree, but I do respect your right to say it and think maybe
Mhm.
you need to get a little more education. Maybe you would feel differently, but absolutely, that's what's so great. I get to say my piece. Everyone else gets to say theirs. It's wonderful.
Mhm.
And that's the
Totally.
country I want to live in. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love your question, Clea. That is a huge question. What kind of country do you want to live in? What kind of country do you want to have your future be?
Mhm.
That is a
Yeah.
great question.
Yeah, I was laying in bed last night and I was going through and I was reading that article, and I just felt really overwhelmed, and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I don't have like, I don't know, I feel like I don't have the credentials to talk about this, or that I'm not qualified enough. And then I just felt really scared and intimidated. And what I realized is that I think everyone else in our country feels the same way. And if I don't say something and if I'm not honest about that, well, then I feel like everyone else feels like they can't do that as well. And so that's what I want to be very upfront about with everyone I'm talking to tonight, is that it's scary and it's not easy reading the Constitution. It's, hard, but we can go through and we can dissect it, and we don't have to be afraid because we're very capable people.
We are. And I love that. And that is what the founders wanted to create, as a country where individual regular people could speak out, speak up, could educate, could learn. And they insisted, they said, we have to have the education of the republic part of our education in the school system. We will not
Mhm.
have our freedom if we do not teach the everyday citizen the republic and the civics and the principles of the Constitution, because the people, for the people, by the people, of the people are the safeguards of our Constitution. So you
Mhm.
couldn't be more qualified because you are an heir of that liberty. That is what
Pretty
makes you
sweet.
qualified. And you
Yeah.
know what's so fun is we all learn so much from each other. And I'm a certified instructor of teaching the Constitution, and I'm just
Oh,
telling you,
that's incredible.
I learn stuff every day. I just met with someone yesterday or the day before yesterday, and it was so much fun. I learned so much from him. And it was fun to share. This is my knowledge, this is yours. But what I do know, the Constitution is so amazing. It's like the scriptures. You never will know everything. Maybe the next life, but there's always more to learn. How many times have I read the scriptures and I still go back and go, was this in here the last time I read it? Because like I don't even remember this. It's like a light bulb goes on, and the Constitution is so amazing, and you can just go deeper. There's always more things to learn. So it is an incredible document, and I know the founding fathers did not write it by themselves. They were
Oh,
truly
no.
inspired and guided, and they will be the first to tell you that.
Mhm.
They know it was very true.
Yeah.
So, okay, are there any other events coming up that we want to talk about?
Um, let's see. Actually, no. Heirs of Liberty is having another event, and that's the day after the Constitution reading, so September 28th. We're doing a 5K. Um, it'll be a $10 entry fee.
Wow,
But I mean, super cheap, and
that's
it's
super
also for
cheap.
a good cause. All of it is going to Why I Love America and to Heirs of Liberty,
Great.
and it will be just really fun. I have a couple of friends who are in bands, and they'll be playing after, and we'll just have refreshments, and it's just so people can get together and show their patriotism and show that they love this country. And that's really what we want, is we want everyone to come and just to participate and just support our country.
Fantastic. That is awesome. Now, where will that be?
So that's going to be here in Provo. That's I We don't have the route yet, but it will be in Provo.
Okay.
I have been talking to America Fusi, and we're trying to get a route
Right.
set
Okay.
up. So,
Well, well, yeah, because the route is a big deal. That's a
oh
big
my
deal
God,
to get set up.
yes.
That's taking a lot of your time. I know.
Hmm.
But
Hmm.
yeah, that's really neat. What a neat idea. Because
Yeah.
it's a good time of the year. It's not summer where it's super hot, but it's not
Mhm.
cold. It's a fun time to have a run. And like you say, the run is inspiring, and you can run and you can walk because you don't have to run the
Mhm.
entire time. And then the end is just as much fun as the run itself because you get to
Oh, yes.
connect with other like-minded people. So yes, let's invite everyone to that. I love
Yes.
that. It was really awesome. And that's
Mhm.
a fun way to kind of tie up the month, the kind of fun way
Mhm.
to kind of sew up the Constitution month and
And
connect
celebrate it.
and celebrate. Yeah, that's
Mhm.
awesome. With a great
Yeah.
accomplishment. Okay,
Yeah.
well, Julia, it has been so much fun having you on. I've loved serving with you on the committee. And it's
I
you
have loved serving with you.
You're so kind. You are just delightful, and I'm very impressed and I just feel like we're really blessed to have you and your friends on the committee because you're just adding such a new dynamic and a new um, just perspective and just taking it to the people. And I love that you're taking it to the young people because you
Yeah.
are our future. You're our only hope.
Yeah. We have a big responsibility ahead of us, and we want to make sure that we, maintain that. So,
You know what is so great is that all God asks us to do is just stand in the trenches and we just take what we have and he will come in and he will support us and serve us. And so he will make it happen. And so that's what's really, I find great comfort is he just says, bring what you've got. I'll make up the difference. I'll fill in.
really.
If you'll bring whatever you have to the table,
Hmm.
I'll come in and I'll bring up the difference. And so I just absolutely love that. So
Yeah.
I am going to, do you have any last minute parting thoughts that you want to share with us?
Um, I think just the biggest thing is just to celebrate this month and to read the Constitution. And we have the four things that we talk about or
Mhm.
just encourage people to do is to pray for our country, to read the Constitution, to fly the flag, and to pass that message on. And so I just encourage everyone to do that, to come to our events and yeah, really celebrate how great this nation is, even though maybe it's a little chaotic. It really
Well,
is great.
it is such a great nation, and it's full of a lot of great people, and there is always hope. And yeah, there's some turmoil. There always has been, because there must needs be opposition in all things. We're never going to have a state here where everything's lollipops and roses. It's always going to have, because that's why we're here, is to overcome that opposition, to learn and grow and educate each other and ourselves, mostly ourselves, so we can educate each other and learn from our experiences. So yeah, and learn. And the founders were, they really were just ordinary people, but they did amazing things. And and they are, according to God, the greatest souls he could find on the earth. And I would love you to stay. I'm going to share something that I feel really passionate about. Is, as an educator, I have found a lot of educators, with good reason, believe that we should not have religion or speak of God or religion in schools. And as an educator, I understand why people believe that. I have nothing but respect and compassion, because of course they believe it, because they've been taught that. But when I'm old enough that when I was starting school, when I was in kindergarten, we still had prayer in school. It is not that long ago where it's like this generation, we had prayer in school. It was not unnormal or unheard of. I actually own a Bible right now that was printed by the government that says, for libraries, public libraries and public schools. Says it right in there.
Wow.
1969. Bibles were printed for public schools. And
That
now,
is
yeah,
amazing.
amazing. And now look how quickly people not only don't know it, but they think that it's against the law. They think it's wrong. They think it's against the Constitution. And so what I'd like to share, and I know I've taken a lot of your time. If you need to drop
No,
off,
I love talking about this. So
I would love you to stay. I'm going to share some of the quotes from the founding fathers
I'd love
about
to hear it.
religion in education and how we need to have religion in our society. They, at no moment did they think that we should exclude our society and from religion. And I think that Amendment 1, which I'm so grateful for the Bill of Rights. I'm so grateful. Can you
Oh my
imagine?
gosh.
You didn't
It's
have it spelled out
incredible.
so clearly.
That's
I
the
love
Bill
those
of Rights
founders.
is incredible.
Yeah, it is. That they're like, we're not signing the Constitution until we get a Bill of Rights. And so I'm so glad they held out and said, we have to have a Bill of Rights. So yeah, that freedom of religion, number one, freedom of conscience, that you can believe what you want to, and speech, because doesn't do any good to be able to believe what you want to if you can't talk about it, if you can't say it. That's just as important. And then to be able to gather. Can't go to church if you can't gather freely. Okay, so this is a quote from Thomas Jefferson. And as we all know, Thomas Jefferson, maybe we don't all know, he was one of the least religious founders. He was religious, as many people don't know, but he was one of the least religious because he did study the Bible at length. He cut the Bible up because he took out verses that he loved and kind of did his own Jeffersonian Bible, because these were the scriptures of Christ. He really loved the scriptures about Jesus Christ. But here's what he said about America and education in the youth. Thomas Jefferson: I know no safe depository of the ultimate powers of the society but the people themselves. And if we think them not enlightened enough to exercise their control with the wholesome discretion, the remedy is not to take it from them, but to inform their discretion by education. This is the true corrective of abuses of constitutional power. So he felt strongly that, like we were talking about before, that we can only inform indiscretion by education. We need to educate, not by force, but educate. This is by Samuel Adams, and it was in a letter to James Warren. Both of these are founding fathers. If virtue and knowledge are diffused among the people, they will never be enslaved. This will be their great security, to diffuse knowledge and virtue. Virtue must be taught. We're not born knowing virtue, and we can't have freedom without it. This is Noah Webster. Again, He's one of the founding fathers, one of the signers, and he also wrote the first dictionary. He said, "It is an object of vast magnitude that systems of education should be adopted and pursued, which may not only diffuse a knowledge of the sciences, but may implant in the minds of the American youth the principles of virtue and of liberty, and inspire them with just and liberal ideas of government, and with an inviolable attachment to their own country. We must teach them patriotism, but just as important of the sciences are the principles of virtue and liberty. And we know you can't have liberty without virtue." And yeah, just this is what they were thinking. This is what was in their minds when they were creating the Constitution that really required us to govern ourselves. James Wilson, "It is the duty of parents to maintain their children decently." So you got to teach them, you got to take care of them, give them food and clothing, and according to their circumstances, protect them according to the dictates of prudence, and educate them according to the suggestions of your judicious and zealous regard for their useful and their respectability and happiness, teaching them to govern themselves and know how to govern themselves. This is from Gouverneur Morris. Gouverneur Morris was a signer. He was one of the delegates. He was actually spoke more than any other one of the delegates. He spoke more than anyone else. So he was loquacious. He had a lot of ideas. He was very outspoken. He says, "For avoiding the extremes of despotism or anarchy, the only ground of hope must be on the morals of the people. I believe that religion is the only solid base of morals, and that morals are the only possible support of free governments. Therefore, education should teach the precepts of religion and the duties of man towards God." This is a founding father. This is a maker of our Constitution, that religion is the only solid base of morals, and that morals are the only possible support of free governments. And you know, it's not just a belief that he had. Find me a free government, find me a country that's ever been free that wasn't based on a moral foundation. You can't be free. You can't govern yourself if you don't have morality. This is Benjamin Franklin. "A Bible and a newspaper in every house, a good school in every district, all studied and appreciated as their merit, are the principal supports of virtue, morality, and civil liberty." The Northwest Ordinance, when they were coming up with the Northwest Ordinance, it said right in the Northwest Ordinance that, I'm trying to find it. Okay. It was of 1787. It said, "Religion, morality, and knowledge being necessary to good government and mankind's happiness, schools and education's means shall forever be encouraged." So in the Northwest Ordinance, they studied three things: religion, morality, and knowledge. That's part of the education. So
That's so incredible.
Yeah, we can see that the founders did not believe that we should separate. That statement of separation of church and state did not come from the Constitution, nor the Declaration of Independence, nor any of our documents. It was simply a phrase written by Thomas Jefferson to the Banbury Church, who was worried that they would have you would have a United States church. There would be a United States, and they are like, they didn't want the Baptists to be a United States church, but they didn't want any other church to be a United, like they had come from in England. And so it's been completely taken out of context, but only in the last 100 years. It was never referred to, never mentioned. They, dragged it up. But and we can go on for hours.
I just love these quotes. You need to send them to me.
I'm happy to. I'm actually creating for my class. I'm creating a document that just goes on and on, because I tell them you need to have a file that has all of this information. I go, you guys don't think you're going to need this, but when you get to college or later in life, you're going to need this. When you're a legislator or a senator or the governor, I want you to pull out your file and you have it right there so you don't have to go find it. You have all of these quotes. You can use original sources for your information. So I am working up that document and I will be happy to share it with everyone.
I would love that.
And it will be at Freedom's Light Festival. And I would like to welcome everyone, invite everyone to Freedom's Light Festival. And we will be talking about that later. So everyone is invited. September 19th, 20th, and 21st. freedomslight.us is the website. Everyone's invited. It's free. We have many, many schools that are attending, many churches that are attending, and citizens of all kinds are welcome to come, and hope everybody will be there. And we will kind of talk about that in a minute. So, Kalia, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate you. Thank you for all you're doing
for me on
our freedom. Thank you. We'll do it again.
Thank you. Sounds great.
So appreciate you. Thank you. Have a great day.
You too.
Okay, and now we are going to welcome another Liberty Mom, a great Liberty Mom, Kristen Chevrier, she is the founder and chair of the Your Health Freedom. And Kristen, you look better all the time than you do right now. I can't see you. And there might be
I turned off the camera and now I'm trying to figure out how to turn it back.
Okay, because I do not have your camera turned off. I just but if you, we would love to see your beautiful face if you feel like sharing it with us. But if we will at least hear your beautiful voice. And I don't think it's our system because my camera works and Kalia's.
No, I told it to turn off the camera at first because I always do that, but now I don't see a switch for. Oh wait, here. Wait, maybe.
I'm waiting.
It says it's locked.
It says
I must have messed it up.
You know what? You might want to just go out and then come back in, because sometimes we've had that happen before, especially if you said no. Go back out and then just click the link and come back in. It will probably
I'll try that.
So let's try that. And while Kristen is doing that, I am going to briefly talk about Freedom's Light Festival. It is, as I mentioned, it is Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 19th, 20th, and 21st. You get a chance to meet the founding fathers and founding mothers of America. And we have 45 different stations. And so you also get to learn about the principles of the Constitution. So we have one that you get to learn about the 3/5 clause. If you don't know about it or you have misgivings about it, come and learn. In 15 minutes, you will have a completely new understanding of the 3/5 clause that's in the Constitution. And it's amazing. And you get to participate as if you were one of the founders, if you were one of the delegates. You get to hear the discussions and arguments, and you get to participate in that and help make that decision of how to solve that problem. You also get to learn about federalism, what that means, the separation of powers, separating the federal government from the states, specific powers of the federal government, the specific powers of the states. You get to also understand the difference between democracy and the republic. You get to learn the difference between, you get to actually experience socialism, experience the free enterprise system, capitalism, and crony capitalism, and learn the difference between these things. But you're not learning it just by someone talking about it. You're engaged and experiencing it and learning these principles in fun and interactive ways. You'll get to 10 different games and activities we have to learn the Bill of Rights. And as Kalea and I were talking about how the Bill of Rights is so amazing. Our individual rights are incredible, and what a great blessing those Bill of Rights are. And so we will be learning about all of the Constitution in fun and interactive ways, again, free and engaging. So go to Freedoms, be sure you put in an S, freedomslight.us, and it has all the information there. If you bring a school, we'd like you to register. Otherwise, just come. Bring your friends and family and show up. And we'll look forward to seeing you there. And Kristen is back. Unfortunately, her computer is not cooperating with us, which I'm very sad about, because although I kind of should be glad about, because Kristen's very beautiful, and I never like to be on screen with people more beautiful than me, which is almost everyone. So that was rough with Kalia. She's so gorgeous. And but Kristen, you have a lot to share with us. And I'm really excited because Kristen is really, truly a Liberty mom. And she has been on the front lines and made such a difference, not only in the state of Utah, but across our nation. And we're really excited to have you on, Kristen. So, Kristen, you have an event coming up, and I really want to talk about your event because I feel passionately that everyone who cares about freedom in any way should be to this event. It is really spectacular.
Thank you. I believe that that is also true. So this is an event that we've been doing for this is our 9th year, doing a big event for health freedom. And we started out with Andy Wakefield and Suzanne Humphreys and a whole bunch of superstars, and we didn't know then what superstars they were. It was just a fun thing, and we did it. And now, 9 years later, we have some other superstars coming. And I'm really sorry I can't figure out how to turn on the camera. I didn't want
I'm sorry,
to
too.
guest.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So anyway, so we have Dr. Brian Hooker coming, who works with Children's Health Defense and who co-authored a book called Vax Unvax, Let the Science Speak. And he co-authored that book with Bobby Kennedy, who is running for president and who just
was running.
He's sort of running for president, but but now he's endorsed Donald Trump and is probably going to be part of the Trump administration. And that is super exciting news because the health issues in this country have the negative health issues have skyrocketed over the past 20 years.
They have.
Children's health is worse than it's been ever in my memory.
Which
And
is
adult
really,
health
really
too.
sad because here we are in this first world country with so much technology and so many resources, and we spend a lot of money on healthcare. How could we possibly have our healthcare or our children's healthcare declining? It just seems unthinkable.
And it is.
And
The life expectancy is declining.
Yes.
People are dying younger. So this is something that we could fix if we fix our food supply and if we stop using so many vaccines and if we stop using chemicals on all of our food. And we have some changes to make, and they made changes in other times in history that improved life. And I think that we can do the same thing. I'm very hopeful that we can do that. So this event, we have Brian Hooker coming to talk about this book that they've put together. It's actually a compilation of studies on the vaccine issue, and it is fascinating. It is really, really good stuff. So he's coming. He co-authored the book with Bobby Kennedy, and we just scored. And we now have John Stockton coming. And I guess Chris Kimball said that would be a slam dunk, right? So,
Yes,
so
beautiful. That's
we are so excited. And a couple of
people.
people, yeah, he's fabulous. And some people have asked me why John Stockton coming to a health freedom thing. So the reason
they're living in a cave, aren't they?
Yeah, I guess so.
Sorry,
so
no, it's just that I happen to know why. And I'm so excited he's coming because I like him for so many reasons. Yes.
Yeah, he's just a good, solid human being.
He is.
And he's humble and he's a superstar. And he has also started helping on the health freedom front. And he filed a lawsuit with several doctors in Washington state against Washington state for stifling the freedom of speech of the doctors.
Yes.
Which is huge. I feel like the lawsuit might have been dismissed. I can't remember for sure, which is not a huge surprise in Washington state. But the fact that he filed it is a big deal. And we are just thrilled to have him coming to speak. We also have some other superstars coming. We have Dr. Kenneth Oliver, he runs the neuro clinic in Lehigh. And he's doing all kinds of wonderful work for people who are having neurological problems. And he's going to come and speak to us a little bit about that. We have Timothy Ruff, coming to speak to us. Timothy Ruff is an entrepreneur, but he is working with Samuel Smith, who is the smartest guy I think we could say in the world on identity technology. So, you know that we have people pushing to have the, what do you call it? The digital driver's license and the ID cards that are digital. And those are super dangerous because they can be tracked. And Sam Smith has developed a technology where you can have a digital ID card that does not phone home, which means it doesn't tell the state where you are or why you're using the card. It just accesses the one piece of data. So an example would be you're going to a bar, although I know you're not going to a bar. But if you were going to a bar and they wanted to know that you were old enough to be in a bar, the card would show them that you are over 21. It would not tell them your age. It wouldn't tell them your address or your phone number or your height or your weight or your eye color like it does when you show them your driver's license.
Right.
It gives them the one piece of information that they need, but when it goes to the state information place, I don't know whether it's a database or what, but wherever it goes to get that information for the state issued ID card, it does not tell the state that you're in a bar. And it doesn't tell you who's asking for the information. All it does is say, yes, this person's over 21. So it's an amazing step up from blockchain, because blockchain, it's great for crypto. There are some uses of blockchain that are stellar. But when you try to use it for an ID card, there's a phone home, and that means you can be tracked. If there's no phone home, you can't be tracked. And that's what we want.
And see, this could also be used, I'm asking, although I sound like I'm saying, could this also be used for social media? Because then, because if you were like, several states have passed laws stating that minors can't get social media accounts. But then you have to give them all of your personal private information. So couldn't this kind of system be used?
Absolutely.
As well,
Absolutely.
not giving them all of you just say, yes, they're old enough to get a social media account. No, they're not.
Yep. That's one of the best things, because we can use it for that and we don't have to divulge any other information.
Right.
It's fabulous. So it'd be good to come and hear about that. He's going to speak about that. He's putting together a handout that we can give to people that has more information. But I do have to say that time is of the essence on this issue, because we have other people in Utah right now who are pushing other programs that will end up being tracking systems. So we need to be getting to our legislators right away as soon as you know what this stuff is, and I'll get you the information so that you can share it with your listeners, or you could have Timothy on to talk about it at some point.
Timothy on. I'd like to have him on, because I feel very passionately about this, because I happen to know they're already in the works with doing this and giving these social media companies who we don't trust, and saying, yep, you have to give them all this information. It's because we're in a serious situation, and I love this. This is exciting. But parents need to know, and our legislators need to know.
This is very closely related to health freedom as well, because we've fought for several years now to keep from having all of our information put into a data lake where it's all in one place and it's easily accessible to any hacker who wants it. And if you think for 1 minute that somebody's not going to hack that, you've got another thing coming, because it's happening every single day. Databases are getting hacked.
They are every day. And as someone who's had my information stolen 3 times, hacked from different places, companies and businesses that I don't even know how they got my information. And it's happening on a regular basis. And it's life-changing when you have that happen. And we have the technology to make it secure, and we need to.
We do, yes. And so that's one interesting thing that we're going to talk about. And then we've got Jared St. Clair, who is always a joy to listen to.
He is.
Great sense of humor, and
Mhm.
he has great information, and he has owned and operated a health food store since he was 15 years old. He's just amazing. And they just celebrated their 47th year in the store. Not Jared personally. I
Yeah,
don't
like
think
I don't think he's 47 years old,
opened.
but I shop at that
We're
store because
open.
his store is right,
Yeah,
it's in my cities where I live, so that's my store. I go
I
to all
shop
the
at that store and I live in Highland.
Well,
So
you should come and see
um,
me when you shop at his store, Chris, and that hurts
I
my feelings that you
should.
come this close to me and you don't even stop by. Gee whiz.
All right, I'll do better.
You better do better. Yeah, you better improve on that.
Um, so Jared is a gem, and we're so grateful to have him. And he'll be fun to listen to. He'll share some great information. He can talk about almost anything, so I haven't even asked him what he's talking about yet. But we also have Al Jackson, and you know Al.
I do. I
Um,
love him. He's awesome. Great
he's
speaker, of course.
another gem. He used to be a senator in Utah. He's living in Virginia right now, but he's with Moms for America. And he's done all kinds of things, and he's a really peaceful but highly motivating kind of a person. And I love to listen to him tell stories. He's a great storyteller.
Yeah.
So I'm excited to have him come. And then we'll have music, and we'll have dinner, and just so everybody knows, our organization is 100% volunteer. And I personally work full time and have I've worked full time for a lot longer than 10 years, but I've been working on this particular issue, the health freedom issue, for 10 years. And it's a full time job, but we are all volunteers. So the funds that we raise, this is our one fundraiser for the year. And the funds go to educating the public, they go to educating policymakers, and they go to advocacy work. And that costs money, even though we don't get paid, because you need to have flyers, you need to have banners, you need to have signs, you need to pay for lunches, you need to there are a whole lot of things. You need to go to conferences so that you can learn stuff, so that you can come back and talk to legislators. So there's a whole bunch of stuff that costs money. And so far, I think we've been very effective. We've helped pass a lot of bills with Delaine's and Gail's and other people's help. We've passed a lot of bills that are great bills, and we've also killed bills that were horrible
Yes,
bills.
we have.
So
Yep.
um, so it's an effort that is worth your getting involved in. It's an evening that's going to be very fun, that you don't want to miss, even if you're just coming for the fun. But you're also going to get the education and the food, and it's at Thanksgiving Point's Ashton Gardens, so it's a beautiful setting. And another important thing to know is that even though it seems like we're kind of in a lull right now, if you feel that way, you have been sheltered by the fact that there is a pocket of us who have been working our tails off to get you into that pocket. So the battle is nowhere near over. We've got the World Health Organization that is trying to get all of the countries to come on board to have a standard for what a pandemic is, and what the pandemic protocols are, and what kinds of treatments we'll use, i.e., vaccines, and probably mRNA vaccines, which we've seen so many problems with. People have been dying, people are um, injured for the rest of their lives. Their lives are destroyed. And a lot of these people are in Utah. Some of them are high school kids, and some of them are grown up preschool teachers who wanted to teach preschool and were doing a great job at it, but are no longer able to teach. And they're teachers, they're doctors, this has been a disaster. And we don't want to let this go further.
Yes. And they're not going away. I mean, the pressure is on. And like you say, the World Health Organization is putting so much pressure on other countries, but especially America. They're very
Yeah.
much pushing America.
Yeah, they are. So you can learn more about that. Come to our dinner, get our emails, get involved in our group. There's so much that you can learn, and there are small ways you can help, and there are really big ways that you can help. So we would love to have you, whatever your time availability is. We would love to have your help and your participation. One other thing, just to show that they are still going forward with this, is do you remember before the COVID outbreak, they had a big meeting where they talked about a theoretical COVID disease that if there were an outbreak, this is what we would do.
Right.
In October, there is a bird flu summit, an international bird flu summit in Washington, D.C., which I plan on attending, if they'll let me in. Maybe I
Right.
shouldn't broadcast it too widely,
Right.
but I want to go to this, and then I want to watch what they do after I've gone and taken notes on what they said. So
Yeah.
they are moving forward. We also need to move forward. And one of the ways that we can move forward is by helping to fund the advocacy efforts of Your Health Freedom.
That makes sense. Yeah, because Kristen really does. Your Health Freedom, they make a big difference. They work really hard. They're up there at the Capitol the entire legislative session, but then all year at interim and talking to legislators, making a huge difference. And I do want to let everyone know, there are people that are that if you didn't have them, this would be a different state, and you would be noticing so much more how many of your freedoms are at risk, and you would have lost many of them. You would have no health freedom whatsoever. Without Your Health Freedom organization and Kristen and people like Kristen and her team, we would have lost a lot of our privacy and our health, our ability to make our own decisions in health, because you just can't overcome the pressure they just would have gone along. The legislators wouldn't know better. They're not evil. They're not terrible.
That's right. They just don't know. And they don't have time.
No.
They don't have time to delve into every single issue, to all of the intricacies, and to connect all of the dots. Those of us who are spending our lives doing this are doing that. We're connecting the dots, and we're bringing that information to the legislators, and a lot of them have been extremely helpful. So
been amazing.
Let's keep that going.
Let's keep that going. And they are getting educated, and they are getting concerned, and they like their health freedom too. And what's so great about it is that it's not forcing anyone to adopt anything. It's saying everyone gets to choose. If you want this treatment, you can have it. Just don't force everyone else to have a treatment that you want. But no one's taking anything off the table. All the things are still there. It's just not forcing anyone else to choose someone else's design and type of medical decisions. It's very important.
Oh, so to get tickets,
yes,
you go to yourhealthfreedom.org. Yourhealthfreedom, all one word, .org, and follow the prompts there to get tickets.
Okay, great. Yourhealthfreedom.org. Go on there and get tickets. This is going to be an amazing evening. It is, the speakers are phenomenal. It's so interesting. And then you have dinner.
That's right. And if you need a vegan or vegetarian option, there is a vegetarian vegan choice. If you need it to be gluten-free, then you need to contact me, and I'll make sure you get a gluten-free meal. But yeah. So
great speakers, you get dinner, and then like Kristen said, it really is so inspiring and fun to associate with these other like-minded people and learn from each other and make these connections, because these are the people that we end up working together with, and that we end up connecting and helping each other. And it's so much more fun to be in the foxhole with your friends than it is all by yourself.
Yeah, that's what we do for fun, right?
Yeah, it's more effective. We can do so much more together as a team than when we try to take this kind of thing on all by ourselves. We need more than one person because there's too many legislators.
And too many issues.
And way too many issues.
Yeah. We need a lot of people, and the more people we can get, the better, because one of the things that I've noticed is that the health freedom issues are not limited to the Health and Human Services Committee. They can be in any committee, and frequently there are things that sneak past us at first, or maybe all the way past us because they went through a different committee and we just didn't know about them.
And sometimes they're
So,
named something that wouldn't really trigger us to think that that's
yeah,
even related to it because they have a different name. So we need all the help. We need lots of help. But this is a great way to help because we can't
it
run this
is.
organization without some funds. So,
Exactly.
and
Thank you so much for having me
it's
on.
such a great, I mean, it is. It's one of my favorite events of the year. I really enjoy it. It's fun. It's really well done. The speakers are always fantastic. And I honestly feel like your lineup this year is just absolutely incredible. But I will
It
admit,
is going to be fun.
I'm such a fan of John Stockton. I love his demeanor, his way of being. He's extremely talented. I loved him as a basketball player. I loved how truly he was so much about the greatest good. Like he was always about serving the team. He was never about himself. It was always about a team sport and serving everyone else. It's just quite amazing. And we miss him here in Utah. And I just really admire someone he's got the money, he's got the name, he has the lifestyle, he has everything, but he was willing to stand up and speak out and say, I want to respect everyone's choices. And he did not, he's a thinker, he's a critical thinker, and he's got the courage to stand up and
Yeah.
care about the rest of us. And that I just admire so much. I think he has so much integrity. I'm very
Yeah.
impressed with him as a person. I always have been. But he's just even more so. I really admire him. But I think you have such an incredible lineup. They're all just stellar.
Thanks. I'm very excited because people have been telling me to get John Stockton, and I thought, right. And I just kept trying. And it took me seriously about 8 months
Yeah,
to finally get an answer because he's a busy guy.
he's
But
very busy, and I've been trying to get him as a guest on my radio show and haven't even been able to get anywhere. So I'm really thrilled that he's willing to come down and speak.
yeah,
I feel like it's such a blessing. And this is not an event you want to miss. Every one of these, I would go to an event just to hear one of them speak. But to be
yeah,
able to hear
I
all
would.
of them speak at one event is just incredible. And they all have
Yeah,
a different angle, which is really cool too. They
yeah,
all have a totally different message to share. So it's going to be a great
exactly. They
evening.
do. Yeah, it's all related.
Yeah, it is so intertwined.
So I'm going to say it again just so that people don't forget yourhealthfreedom.org. That's where you get the tickets. And actually, I think that I've gone to dinners like this before. The tickets are over $200, sometimes $250. We're only charging $85 a seat, and a lot of that goes to the dinner, honestly.
Oh,
So,
unfortunately, you have to pay for the venue. Excuse me. You have to pay for the venue and the dinner.
yeah,
But we have to have a venue, and we
we
have
do.
to eat anyway. So it does make the evening
Yeah,
nice, and classy.
yes, it does. And it does help fund us for the rest of the year. So we
Yes.
really appreciate that.
Yep, it's really awesome. I really encourage everyone to attend. So it's a
Thank
great
you.
event. I can't imagine anybody not finding it well worth their time and well worth every penny. And it really is it's such a good deal. And like, when do we not just donate $85 or $100 to a great organization to help them? And here you're getting so much value created for that donation. I see
Yep.
it as a donation. Make the donation to the organization. Make the donation to Your Health Freedom. They need it. It's well worth it. It's a great donation. Is it tax deductible, Kristen?
I don't think that the dinner is tax deductible, but you can make donations to Your Health Freedom that are tax deductible.
Okay, that makes sense. So a portion of it is tax deductible. And but even so, yeah, it's a great event for a great price.
Yeah,
Yourhealthfreedom.org.
that's right.
So, okay, well, Kristen, thank you so much for being on with us today.
Yeah,
And
my pleasure.
thank you so much for the value that you create. Like you say, you literally spend your entire energy, your time at great sacrifice, that in order to really protect every one of us. it's like what's so great about living in a Christian nation isn't that everyone's Christian. It's that everyone of every faith is blessed by living in a Christian nation, because everyone has the opportunity to exercise their own religion. When you live in a Christian nation, everyone's religion and conscience and freedom is protected and honored. And what you do doesn't just protect those of us who want to choose or don't like to go along with the status quo. It protects every single person with their right to choose. You can choose Western medicine all over the place. You can also choose to opt in and out of whatever part you want to. You can, it's cafeteria style. You get to pick and choose what part you want. And that's what's so amazing, that people that want 100% Western medicine can still have it, because you're not championing anybody be forbidden to use anything. Just
No,
being forced.
what we're talking about is informed consent.
It
and
is.
and the
Yeah.
ability to get access to the information, the ability for doctors to be able to talk to you about what they know and not be censored or have their licenses threatened for telling you what the dangers of something might be, and for everybody just to have a choice. And if you choose to go with Western medicine, great. But there are other people who want to choose another modality, and they should have that option as well, because our health is the most personal, other than our beliefs. It's the most personal thing that we have. And we should be able to explore all the possibilities and then make our own choices based on what we learn, and have access to the complete information rather than having it censored off the internet. Did you know that the FDA has removed the vaccine excipient list from its website?
Yes, I've heard that.
Yeah, so it was there for all 9+ years that I've been working on that. The excipient list was there, and now it's gone. And there's some vague statement about just these minor problems that you could have with vaccines, but it's otherwise safe and effective. So when they do things like that, they are disallowing us, disenfranchising us really, because we should have access to that information so that we can make a decision based on actual information and not just on their coloring the details.
They didn't care because not that many people went on to check. But now that more people are going on, it is unbelievable that in America they can just take that off and not have full disclosure. We need full disclosure. We need transparency, especially when you have the government and private companies pushing it. They shouldn't be pushing it without full disclosure, because, again, we need to have a moral foundation to have freedom. You cannot have freedom without a moral people. And it's just extremely essential. So in wrapping up, I just want to remind everybody also about yourhealthfreedom.org. Go on there and get your tickets. Also, September is American Founders and Constitution Month. We have discussed many ways to celebrate that. None other than Freedom's Light Festival coming up on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, September 19th, 20th, 21st. And I also want to just make you aware, on Friday late afternoon and evening, we're having, the entire time we have 45 different stations open. You get to meet founding fathers, founding mothers. You get to learn about the principles of the Constitution, 45 different, very engaging, different things that you get to do that are hands-on, that are experiential. And then on Friday night from 4 to 8, we have a family festival, which all of the same things are going on all that time, but we're going to add in like Go Fish Pond. You get to fish the Delaware River, that George Washington, the crossing of the Delaware, you get to go fish there. You get to have face painting for anybody that wants to have that. You get to dress up in colonial clothes and have a picture taken that you get to buy, so you can have a picture of your family as you went back into colonial times. So we have these little additional things, but we also have Professor Gov Allen that will be speaking on the 5 lost American virtues. And I am just telling you, I don't want anyone to miss this, because it is so powerful. It is amazing words. It's an amazing, I don't really even want to call it a speech, because that sounds kind of boring, but He portrays Isaiah Thomas, one of the founders, and had a printing press. And he is just so engaging and so interesting. I promise you, you will love him and find it well worth your time. It is excellent, and everyone in America needs to hear it. We also have Brent Taylor's wife, Jenny Taylor, Gold Star wife. She will also be speaking at 7 o'clock on Friday night. And again, really a great speaker. And it's a great opportunity for everyone in your family, because both of these speakers are great for all kids. So this family festival is for all the kids to come and everybody come and enjoy and celebrate America, celebrate the founders, and actually have so much fun learning about America and these. And I really feel like it will be very inspiring, and you'll find it well worth your time. So
It is a fun event. I've been there and I loved it. I loved hearing all the stories and everything. It's very well done. Lots of fun.
The stories are so fun, and you really learn about the people and the sacrifices they made and what they did. It's so inspiring, because we just are so blessed to live in this country, and we haven't paid a high price. And that's what I love. It helps us appreciate the great freedoms we have. And then we realize how we do need to stand up. We need to pay the price. Freedom's not free. And there are things that we need to do. And you're very inspiring that way, Kristen, because you do stand up and say, we want to have, and you do more than medical freedom. That's your forte. But there are many freedoms that we need to stand up for. Medical freedom is one of them. And you do so much. So yeah, there's a lot. Well, thanks so much for joining us, Liberty Mom Kristen Chevrier. And thank you all for joining us and listening. And we hope that you'll share with others. And we plan to see you at yourhealthfreedom.org and freedomslight.us. Thank you so much. And remember that you are the guardians of your liberty. Have a beautiful day.